Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. I don't have to gaslight people that watch my videos. I can tell things exactly how they are, and let's be honest, the Kenobi show is a piece of trash. Utter trash. It doesn't matter that it might have been the most viewed Disney show on Disney Plus. That's utterly irrelevant. It was always going to have big numbers on it because of the very fact that Ewan McGregor was returning as Obi Wan Kenobi, something legitimate Star Wars fans had been wanting to see for a very long time. They were also hoping that there was gonna be this interesting show that was a great character piece of Obi-Wan coming to terms with his failures, and also Anakin Skywalker maybe coming to terms with his and the conflict which raged inside of him. All this, of course, while Obi-Wan was looking after Luke Skywalker, the job that he was tasked with at the end of episode 3. But we're dealing with Disney Star Wars, and Disney Star Wars isn't Star Wars. It's the furthest thing from Star Wars that you can possibly get. And so we've had the show completely turned on its head. Luke is once again thrust aside because Kathleen Kennedy and a posse of intersectional feminists hate the fact that this is a story about a young white man who comes to terms with the power that he can wield and ultimately saves the day. And it's such a horrible thing that I have to put the word white in there, because that's what Hollywood now deals with. That is the currency of Hollywood. It's skin color, it's ethnicity, and it's sexuality. It's no longer storytelling and entertainment. This is what they barter with. So now we've seen with Kenobi, he's abandoned Luke Skywalker. Oh, Luke will be fine, don't worry, apart from the fact that there was already Inquisitors on Tatooine, so what would stop them from returning? Don't worry about that. Don't think about that. Luke is now just a piece of trash. Let's make Leia everything and all to everyone. Apart from, they hire a nice little cute girl and they make her the most precocious, obnoxious character in the show. And, you know, I know she's young, not a great actor either. We have Obi-Wan, who no longer has a grasp of the Force. His Force powers are weak and pathetic. However, he talks about training Luke Skywalker. How can he train Luke Skywalker when he himself is so pathetic? But that changes dependent on what the script wants him to do as well. And then we see a multitude of people coming in and out, just leading this pathetic old dog, which Kenobi has now become, around the galaxy to save Leia. There's no story in this show. He has no agency. He's pathetic. Utterly pathetic. Now, the writer, of course, has made some incredible changes in terms of the lore, with things like Obi-Wan leaving Tatooine and abandoning Luke, with Obi-Wan coming to contact with Leia and her knowing that his name is Obi-Wan as well, which was established in episode 4, with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, I would say fighting, but it was one of the most pathetic things that I've ever seen. And then, of course, very contrived ways for them to part so that they can meet up in episode 6 and cross their light fading sabers with each other once again. And the writer claims that they're enhancing the story. They're not doing anything to break canon or break lore, you know, apart from the Grand Inquisitor getting killed, Reva now being the bestest ever, even though Darth Vader would have killed her in episode 4, because so what? She put her tracking device on Obi-Wan's ship. He's got Leia. He needs to return her to Alderaan. They know that. So why isn't Alderaan completely occupied by the Empire right now as it awaits Obi-Wan and Leia to return? Oh yeah, that's because the writer is trash. But let's see what they've got to say in their own defense about where they believe or what they believe they've done for the series and Star Wars as a brand. For years, it's been understood that Obi-Wan and Darth Vader's showdown on the Death Star in A New Hope was the first time the two have seen each other since Anakin turned to the dark side. That's because it was. Always set up to be, always intimated that it was. Hence, Vader saying, I sense a presence that I haven't felt, because he's thinking back to that time that he last saw Obi-Wan. When they cross lightsabers on the Death Star, and he says, the last time we met, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Well, that was torn apart in the 3rd episode of Kenobi, when Darth Vader absolutely ripped the shit out of Obi-Wan. This pathetic, mopey man who just can't do anything and has no agency in his own show as he's dragged about by a series of whammons to various planets. In Obi-Wan Kenobi's 3rd episode, they reunite a decade after Mustafar. Series writer Joby Harold was recently asked by The Hollywood Reporter if there was a line in A New Hope that opened up the possibility for this encounter. Now, this is where we get the disingenuous vandalization, folks. It was much the opposite. There was no line in A New Hope that said we couldn't. Well, there was no line in A New Hope that said when Obi-Wan wasn't looking after Luke, he was dressing in women's clothing and having sexual orgies with Jawas. I mean, that wasn't said, so are you going to stick that into the show? Again, it's so disingenuous to say, well, it wasn't in, and therefore, oh my God. That shows a complete lack and respect of the lore and of the franchise and of the story, and particularly of the fans, because it now treats the fans as if they're stupid. Well, it didn't say. What if you came home? What if you were a kid and your parents came home and you've thrown paint all over the walls, everywhere, clogged up the sink, into the washing machine, and your parents went, why did you do this? Well, you didn't say I couldn't. But clearly, it's taken that you have the common sense not to. One could argue that Obi-Wan, from a certain point of view, thing is obviously revisionist storytelling in regards to the original trilogy. What? No? The only thing that Obi-Wan tried to keep from Luke was the fact that Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader were one in the same. And that was to spare Luke. No one else, Luke. Other than that, it was pretty fair. He even went away and, deactivated the shield so that they could get off the Death Star and whatnot. So again, more disingenuous narrative that they're trying to push here. Or in another's way of saying, there are grey areas and things we don't know. There's nothing wrong with uncovering the past and its truths in storytelling, so it's never felt wrong to me. There's nothing wrong with telling a story about Obi-Wan on Tatooine looking after Luke, looking over to make sure that he's safe from the Empire while reflecting on his relationship with Anakin, while reflecting on the Jedi Order, while reflecting on how they let Sidious take over, how they let him cloud their judgment and not be able to recognize him until it was too late. Nothing wrong with that. But when you up and take him away from his task, put him together with a character that has no contact with him, why would Leia be saying in A New Hope, Obi-Wan, you fought with my father in the Clone Wars? When they have gone on this huge, I'd say adventure, but it's dog shit. This huge non-entity of a travel musing, a road trip. Hi, Obi-Wan, it's me, Leia. Remember 9 years ago when you saved me and dragged me from planet to planet? Saved me twice. Well, it wasn't, you know, with help from other people because Obi-Wan has no agency. When you rescued me from the kidnappers and then you rescued me from the Empire. Because it doesn't make any sense that Leia would introduce them in that way. But of course, as I said, I don't have to gaslight you guys. We know this. We shouldn't even be having to defend this. We are literally trying to defend this position against people that A, don't care, and B, they want to tear it all down because they hate the fans and they hate the fact that they love the Star Wars story. They want to pervert it and twist it to their own narrative now. That's why characters like Boba Fett are made to look like a fucking clown. And Fennec Shand becomes the competent one in that partnership. And I like Ming-Na Wen, don't get me wrong. But they're always pulling characters down, not to elevate their own characters, because they don't, because no one gives a fuck about them. They just pull the characters, beloved characters down, till it gets to the level of their pathetic characters. And the level of their pathetic writing. There's nothing I feel like we've violated at all. If anything, we've informed, we've educated those scenes, so some of the choices that we've taken for granted in the original trilogy actually make more sense now. This person knows they're talking utter shit. They know that they're lying. They know that they're talking shit, but they just have to do it from their own position. Gaslighting, gaslighting. If you came to the entire Star Wars storytelling world fresh and watched it all the way through from episode 1, this would feel like a natural link between those two trilogies. No, it would not. Because as soon as you got to A New Hope, why is Leia saying this? Why is Vader saying that? It would no longer make any sense. How come Obi-Wan is a very competent person in A New Hope and he's an absolute donkey in his own series? Oh yeah, it's because some absolute circle jerk wrote a terrible show, really quick, really cheap, probably first draft Charlie, threw it out there, and Kathleen Kennedy went, well, I don't care. I just want content. I don't care if it makes any sense. Throws it back at them. I don't care if the characters are shite. I just want to make sure that A, none of those men have any agency and they're run around by a bunch of whammons, and B, that Luke Skywalker is buried even further into the ground. Sure thing, Kathy. Queen Kathy. Star Wars is dead. See you in the next video.